today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this very simple top body bodies, but I'm going to be attaching like a pencil skirt to mine. So guys, the first thing you're going to do is to just get your basic bodies. This is the basic bodies I used in a previous video, so I'm going to be using that in this video again. This is the back of this same basic bodies. You see it has a zipper allowance here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to come down here from the tip of the shoulder. I'm going to mark to the bust point. So for me, that's going to be at 11. So normally you see my dart here ended at 12, which is 1 inch before my bust line. So which is my bust line is at 11. But now I'm going to bring up this my dart because we are going to be slashing this dart in order to make this twisted neckline. So I'm going to bring up this dart up to this point. So the distance of this dart here is 4 inches. That's how I made the center line. So I'm going to mark that same 4 inches, and then I'm going to bring this dart all the way to the top here. So guys, you see I've connected my dart. Another thing I'm going to do now is to come down here 1 inch, and then also connect that same dart to this point here. This dart here to this point. So guys, there's no seam allowance on the width of this fabric yet. I'm going to insert my seam allowance on my main bodies. So I'm going to connect this same dart to this point. All my darts, you see, they are coming into this point here because I'm going to be slashing this. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my neckline. You see, my basic neckline was 3 inches, which ended on this point here, right? But I came down by about 0.5 or so on this line here. So 0.5 here. So guys, what I'm going to do now is to go in here by about so guys, I'm going to just halfway through this neckline. So this neckline, round this neckline is about 5 inches. Halfway through that is about 2.5, somewhere here. So I'm going to just connect it to the armhole because this is supposed to look like an halter neck. So I've connected it now. And then what I'm going to do is halfway through this again, in between this, I'm going to insert a dart. So split the 2.5 again into 2, or just anywhere in between here, you're going to add another dart here. So facing this dart is also going to point into this line. So that's basically it here. So guys, now what I have to do is I'm going to cut this part off because this is supposed to be an halter neck. Guys, if you're more on the bustier side, you can also insert another dart anywhere on this line. Like anywhere on this line, you can also insert a dart here, maybe like a 1 inch dart here, just so that it can also help to hold your bust in, right? So you can insert like a 1 inch distance here, or like 0.75. Just insert a dart here if you want to. But if you feel like you don't want to, you can also leave that alone and just go with this dart here and this dart here. So guys, now that we've done that, let's start to cut it open. So guys, we'll start from this point here, cut it open to the tip here, to the very end here, and then I'm going to cover it up with this one and then tape it down. You see, I kept my tape ready. So guys, just so this one will not be bumping up, I'm going to go ahead and open up this dart on the neckline here. This neckline dart, I'm going to slit it open just so I can help this relax because it's already starting to create tension. So you see, now I've released the tension from here because it feels like I moved my dart from here to here. So now I'm also going to open up this one by the bust area, and then I'm going to close it up. So I'm going to cut it open this way all the way to the end, and then I'm going to cover it up again. So you see, the more I'm moving it, everything is moving my dart to this neckline here. So you see, I'm going to just cover it up again, just like that. And then guys, the next thing is to just cut up my cut off this part here, this halter neck part. So guys, that's basically it for our top. This is done. So guys, like I said, if you want, you can cut the dart here. If you want to do that, all you have to do is the same thing. You're going to slash this open here. This is just to help you get the perfect fitting if you're more on the bustier side, because you know you don't want that gaping at the top of your bust, right? So you can also insert one more dart on this top part here. So that means all these darts now have been moved to this point here. So let's just say I cut mine open too. I'm going to also hold it down with my tape this way, right? So everything is held down now. all I have to do now is just to take this same bodice now, this here, I'm going to insert, take it, place it on a pattern, on a straight paper here, just so I can be able to show you guys how you're going to deal with this neckline now. So just place it on a wider paper and make sure that the edge here, the tip here, the straight line, because remember this is your center, which is supposed to be on a fold, right? Remember on our bodies, this part here is the folded part of your bodies, right? So you're going to insert this here, because remember this used to be something like this. So something like this by the neckline, right? It had the bodies, it had the armhole. So all you have to do now is to make sure that you place this well. Just release it and place it well. Make sure that the straight line is still following each other, and then you're going to tape it down. So I'm going to just tape it down here, just so it doesn't move and maintain the same line. Hold this one down here. So guys, now what I have to do is just to take this here using the pointiest part, right? This is the pointiest part. This part is lower because remember, let's say this is the angle here. Because this is a straight line, this is a straight line. So if I follow this line now, I'll figure that this part here is the pointiest part of my angle. This part is lower, so I can't use this part. I'm going to use the pointiest part and just rule a straight line across, down, just like this. You see? Rule a straight line across. So now guys, this is now my new neckline here. So every other thing, and then I'm going to go from this line this way. So this now is my bodice. I'm going to cut this part out into my armhole, cut the body, cut this side all the way to the side. So guys, let me cut this out now so you guys can see. So guys, the next step here is just to cut our back, right? So for the back, all I have to do is just to use these two sides to measure. So I'm going to see where the armhole fits in here, and then I'm going to rule. If you don't want to use a straight line across, you can use like an angle, like a curve. So I'm going to rule a straight line across this way. So this is basically my back bodice here. I'm going to cut out this top part here. So my back is just going to run across this way. So that's basically what my back panel is going to look like. And then it's going to have a dart going all the way up to the tip of this here. So my dart is going to go all the way up to the edge here and look something like this. So if you want also, you can fold the back dart immediately. That way, when you go to cut it, you don't have to pick a dart anywhere again. So all you have to do is fold this up, and then you go and cut out just the same shape, because you folded away the dart. You don't have to pick it on the cloth. So guys, now let's go over and cut this on the fabric. Guys, remember this pattern that I put here, this part here is still supposed to be your fabric in here. It's just that my paper was not enough. But remember, and I wanted to use a different colored paper to show you guys how to complete it. But remember, whatever you're using is supposed to go all the way into the center and cover up. This space here is just that this paper is too small. So now we are going to trace it on the fabric. So guys, some people, when they go to cut this here, if they're using this type of fabric that has no stretch, like a silk or satin, they like to cut on a bias, which is cutting this way, right? You cut this way on a bias. So it depends on you what you want to do, but I'm going to be cutting just on a straight fabric this way, like how you normally cut your fabric. But instead, what I'll do now is that I'm going to just so guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is, you see how my fabric is open? I'm going to fold it into two. Guys, just watch and see what I'm doing here. This is just one piece of fabric. Fold it into two, because I don't want to, guys, when I was saying this fabric is going to be on a fold, it's like when you're cutting a normal bodice, you remember this part is going to be on a fold, but this fabric here is going to be joined. This top here, the pattern is to join this part in the center, so there's no need for this to be on a fold, like on a fold that's like this part here. There's no need for that, because you're still going to split it open. and you still need to join it back, right? So this part is supposed to be an open space. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it. So instead of having this part on a fold, I'm going to have this part here on a fold. But if you want, you don't have to have any part of them like with this curve here. But I don't want to have a lot of, because this is an Ankara fabric and it might have a lot of seam, right? Not that you can't maneuver that and iron it down and make the seam relax, right? But I just want to put this part here at this edge, since they are still going to be together, right? So I'm going to use this top part here as where my seam is going to be. So guys, just watch and see what I'm doing here. So like the way I folded this now, I'm going to transfer. So the way it is now, I'm going to take, let me just straighten this out. So guys, you see what I did? I've pinned this down just so it doesn't move, and then I went ahead and marked like half an inch here, all the way from this edge here. That's from the edge of my cloth, because like I said, I didn't add any seam allowance. If you measure this now, you see is my bust measurement divided by 4 that I used here. My waist measurement divided by 4, no extra plus 1 inch of that in, and then I didn't add any seam allowance here. That's what I'm trying to explain. So guys, I just marked in like half an inch to join this center piece here, and then for the edge here. And then another place I added was, I already added my shoulder to waist. That one I added, but I did not add any side seam allowance, even for this side or for this side. So I'm going to just cut this out looking this way, like this, right? Because I already have my seam allowance here, but I don't have side seam. You see, I added my side seam. And then this curve also, I'm going to just cut it exactly the way it is, because I don't need much. I just need half an inch of sewing allowance. If you want, you can add that too, but I think I can manage like 1/4 of an inch to turn this with a line, and it won't make any difference. So I'm going to go ahead, and guys, like I said, if you're cutting this, you can use the edge here and add your half an inch to. If you want to cut it separately without the fold, you can add the half an inch also at the top part here. If not, you just move your paper to the edge and just cut everything on the fold. So guys, let's cut it out and see what it looks like now. So guys, you see this is done now, my side seam and center seam allowance and side seam allowance. So let's remove it and see what we have now. So once I remove this paper now, guys, you see what I have. All I have to do is just to open it up this way, join it by the center, this way, using half an inch here, join it all the way to the top, leaving just a small loop, somewhere here, just a small loop somewhere here, so that I can pass my rope. So all these parts will be closed up using that half an inch that I just marked before. Just join it all the way. Now I don't have to pick any darts, because I've manipulated my dart to be at the top here. And then once I open it, it will look something like this. And then I'm going to insert my my rope at the top. So let me cut out the lining I'm going to be working with also. I'm so scared to attach to mine. You can do flay, you can do trouser, like jumpsuits, anything you want. But this video is not about the whole, it's just the top. So I'm just showing you guys what I will be attaching to mine. So I'm setting this aside now. This is my bodies here, the back bodies. Like I said, I taped it down and cut it, so I need to just trim off the edges and then cut it also on a lining. But let me show you guys the top that I already cut on a lining, so you see what it looks like. I already traced out the lining too. So guys, all I have to do at this point is just to open it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and, so guys, this is what I did now. I went ahead and sewed close this side. Like you see, this is the lining and the cloth together, right? But the first thing I did is just to close up this side and then trim off the excess. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys the next thing. So you see, this is the center, right? So what I'm going to do is, from this center point now, I'm going to close it up a little, like 2 inches on this side. So guys, I'm going to close it 4 inches from the center down, 4 inches from the center down. And then when I close it, I'm going to double stitch it, because after that I'm going to open it up so you guys can see how to finish up the rest. So guys, you see I've closed up mine down here and down here. So guys, the next step is just to flip it. So guys, now I'm going to put my hand in and flip this out, right? You can go ahead at this point and iron it out. So guys, the way it is now, this is it here. I've gone ahead and ironed it. So guys, you see where we stopped in front. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it out this way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, guys, I think the 4 inches I did is too much. Maybe I should have done like about, let's say 2 inches or 1 inch on both sides, because now I think I'll go back and remove it. So guys, my advice would be to do 1 inch down, 1 inch down, and then whatever is left, so because I'm going to open up mine now, whatever is left now, you're going to flip it this way, the way it is now, join it together this way, right? Join the that's why I said at this top here, you're going to make sure you double stitch it, and then you're going to join the akara together, and then you're going to join the lining together. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to join your akara together, you're going to join your lining together in a straight stitch this way, all the way down to the other side, just like this. Join it together. So guys, because now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking maybe this opening might be too much. I don't know. I don't want it to be too open when I put in my belt, because I already made the belt I'm going to be working with. So this is it here. I'm going to pass this in between here, and this is going to be my sleeve on 2 sides. But if you look at it now, you will see that my own looks too open. So I think I'm going to go back in and reduce it to maybe, let's say, 2 inches on both sides. That will be enough. It looks like at the moment. So I'm going, you see what I was saying here, I reduced the opening, the loop here. So this is what I was saying. I've joined the lining and the top separately, just a straight line across. So guys, for the side, if you want to hide your seam, all you have to do is the same thing. You're going to take it this way, join the body of the fabric to the body, join the lining to the lining this way, and close up the side that way. But I like to have my seam out, because just in case I need to take it in. So I'm just going to sew it on top this way. So just take it this way and sew it down. Use 1 inch or any amount of seam allowance you left. Close up the side, just like I did on this side here. Close it up this way. That way you can have your seam out, because if you sew it the other way, the seam will be inside like how this one is here. And when you want to, in case if you want to shape it, you can't do that. And guys, also the strap, what you have to do is to consider the like 3 or 4 inches in front, and then you're going to consider whatever you cut out at the top before you go to whatever you took out at the top part of your upper bodies. Let's say like 7 or 10 inches, whatever it was, you add it to the strap, and then you sew your strap into this lining. So before you join the lining on top of this part here, you can insert this here and sew it in between. Or if you want, you can just leave this and make it a tie at the back of the neck, right? And then it drops at your back. It depends on you what you want to do. So but I'm going to go ahead now, close up mine and join it to the skirt and bring it back so you guys can see what it looks like. And also remember to put in your center zip, because I'm also going to be inserting my zip right now. Once I join the skirt part, I'll finish up everything. Here the dress is done. You see the neck, the tie here, guys. Like I said, you can do different things with this. You can decide to just sew it down like a strap, and then you can also decide to just tie it on your neck and let it drip. I've not decided what to do with it, so that's why mine is still this way. But if you already know what you want to do with it, sew it into the lining before you finish. It will give you a better like finishing. It will look nice. So but I'm yet to decide, so I think I'll leave mine this way for now. So that's basically what this looks like. I hope I explained it better for you guys. Just take your basic bodice pattern without any attaching of the seam allowance here, because if you put in seam allowance, it will be a lot of calculation. You will not know how much to put at the center, the half an inch. You will start to subtract the half an inch from 1 inch. Like, it's going to confuse you. At least it will confuse me. But so that's why I decided to just go with the basic bodice and then do everything, manipulate the dart how you want to, and then add your seam allowance to the cloth. That way everything is simple. So guys, this is what mine looks like at the moment. And yeah, please, if you have any question, leave it in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for your time. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.